you can see, we're trying to do a live stream today, speaking with the CEO of the WJIC Network. That's broadcast out of Plattsville, Alabama. And we're kind of celebrating a lot of anniversaries today. But ladies and gentlemen, just a quick round of applause for my good friend, again, Pastor Cedric Barnett. Again, good afternoon to you, Pastor. And finally, we're getting it together. Talk to us a little bit about some of the new things now that is happening with the WJIC Network, and where we like direction of this terrestrial radio station to go.
Well, in order to go ahead and get started with what's new, let's go ahead and just take you all the way back to the beginning. We had intended to do this last Friday, which would have been the actual anniversary of WJIC Network. We fired it up on April 1st of 2016, and we started at 8 o'clock that evening, and that was strategic because of course, April 1st, is April Fool's Day. And of course, Psalm 14 and Psalm 53 all begin with, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And we wanted to go ahead and broadcast at 8 o'clock that night, 8 being the number of new beginnings, in order to let the world know not only is there a God, but here's a place where everybody can go ahead and catch him 24/7. And it's going to be a place where Jesus is Christ, where Jesus is cool, but where Jesus isn't compromised. That's what WJIC stands for everybody who didn't know. So the Lord has blessed us. About 6 years ago, I want to go ahead and send a very special shout out to the person who helped get us started. A couple of people who helped get us started. First of all, Jesse Martin with Rackman Christian Radio, who was the main one who taught me how to go ahead and put the station together, and using all of my years of programming radio and television, how to go ahead and get it started on air. And that, along with the late John Lipinski, who with C-Pop Christian Radio, which stands for Christ Paid Our Price, he helped me get started as far as licensing and everything. But after a couple of test runs, we started the 24/7 stream April 1st of 2016, and we've been running ever since then. So as we recognize partners, especially want to recognize you, Brother Daulton, because like I say, you the Lord allowed you to see the vision that we were doing, and you brought in a very, very special show which celebrates 1 year on the WJIC Network, which is Heaven's Joy. And we just want to say thank you, and also congratulate you on 29 years of radio broadcasting, 26 years at WHCR 90.3 FM in Harlem, New York. And I forgot the other one, but as well as your first year here on the WJIC Network. We truly could not do what we do without you.
I thank you so much for that, Pastor Barnett. Yeah, I keep thinking about that, because I'm saying, because this year is a year also, this month here is a year being on the WJIC Network.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying to myself, everything's happening, everything's in April.
Yeah, I know. In fact, April is also when I started working a long time ago with Trinity Broadcasting. And as you're celebrating 29 years, I'm actually celebrating 25 years in both radio. Well, it started off in radio back in 97, but got involved working with Trinity Broadcasting Network as an intern in 2000, part-time in 2002, and then full-time in 2006. So everything I know about broadcasting, we go ahead and celebrate 25 years of doing that this year as well.
Well, we're still doing the business very, very quickly, and again, I really want to talk more about what the direction of WJIC, because now it seems like I have a lot of anniversaries. That's in the month of April, but it wasn't easy. I started out with a lot of great radio announcers here in New York, and I can only, maybe out of 11 or 12, maybe 13. There's only 2 of us left, and I in the sense of, when I say announcers, those who have supported the ministry, supported the industry, been in the industry. I'm in attended conferences, have been to conventions. These are, forgive me how I'm going to say, these are the people who I believe who have followed the ministry and the calling of God and have given back in. Everybody can say they've been on the radio, and could put X amount of years. But what did you give back? What did you support?
Exactly.
So those are some criteria that I look at, and I just thank you for an energy. But to kind of swing back, I want to get out of New York and kind of go and deal with WJIC. Uh, when what happened was, well, I kind of changed wheels midstream when I went to the Rhythm and Gospel Awards in Memphis last year and received the radio announcer of the year award. And what happened was, and I've been playing independent artists all the time in New York. A lot of people didn't even know I was playing them, but all of a sudden I would meet people at conventions or conferences, and they would just come up and just say thank you. And I said, it's not even about that. And they said, I couldn't believe it. Somebody was telling me that they was hearing their music in New York. And I said it wasn't a big deal. But what happened when I went to the Rhythm and Gospel Awards and I really sat down with independent artists again, these artists came from across the country. Being in New York, we don't have that outlet or a place where I'm going to meet artists like that unless I travel out of New York and to
Right.
some of these conferences. And I sat there and I listened to a lot of the artist stories, and and I just had to say to myself, I was missing something. Sometimes being in New York, you're kind of enclosed with a lot of things because the immense pressure of doing what you do. See, and I'm only going to do it one way: either do it well or don't do it at all. I
Right.
don't play around when it comes to somebody that's going to tell me in New York, I've listened to you for 4 hours, and it pretty much every Sunday I tell my friends to tune in because we're always going to expect something different or something amazing, which I take it all as a compliment. And when I think about that and sitting with them, I said, "Gee, how am I going to let how am I going to get them to how am I going to?" They needed the independent artists needed help. They needed. I felt they needed a better and stronger platform, and
I
and
agree.
and so what happened was, Pastor, I said, you know what, I'm going to kind of switch, which is a dangerous thing to do. You never want to you never want to kind of change your car in midstream. You never want to change your course in midstream because
Hmm.
nobody's going to be aware of it other than yourself, unless I talk and other than the CEO, because the numbers was doing great, and
Right.
I deal with I deal with numbers. I deal with numbers and how why because at the end of the day we're not running a terrestrial station on on empty air. We have to have a component here that you feel is worthy of those who are listening, and so you
Absolutely.
always have to try to put framework together of programming. And so I changed gears midstream, and if I was in England and driving a shift, so I would blow out the gearbox because that's what I did. And I said, you know what? I'm going to kind of really connect with these independent artists and put together a format that I believe would benefit WJIC,
Hmm.
benefit the independent artists, because I wanted to show them what to put their music into a format that's going to help to embellish their talents and let them understand this is what real radio is about. So I said, you know
Exactly.
what? I'm going to bring it all from New York, put it on WJIC, and so a lot of independent artists didn't make it in that format.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's, oh boy.
Well,
Uh,
even while you do that, part of why
I'm,
I really
I'm
started.
sorry. Hi,
Go ahead.
Kevin, you want to come out? Yeah, Kevin. No, I was on a Zoom call. That's give me a few moments, okay? Um, Pat, can we put a hold on this for a second? Can you stop
um,
it for a minute?
let,
Because
um,
I'm
I'll go ahead
go,
and mute your mic so you can take that call.
yeah, okay. And I have to come right back. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
All right. So while Dalton is on that call right now, I just want to go ahead and explain to you that what he was saying as far as the independent artist is true. And that's been my heart ever since I started back in radio broadcasting here in Montgomery, Alabama, back in 1997 with WXVI AM. And we have a heart for independent artists. And of course, if you tune into the Heaven's Joy show, and you can catch that anytime on weekends, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and also on Sundays at 11 Central and 12 Eastern on the WJIC Network. But Dalton's heart is my heart as well too. I know what it's like not to be heard, and I know what it's like in order to really want to try to go ahead and get your message and your music out there. And that's part of the reason why we started the WJIC Network, where everybody comes in, and we're the home for it all. I truly say that we are the place where all God's children come together to sing in perfect harmony. So at any one time, you will hear gospel, you can hear contemporary Christian, you can hear gospel jazz, inspirational jazz, you can hear gospel from the United Kingdom, you can hear gospel from East Africa, West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa. And so you can even hear classical, but we just really want to go ahead and champion the independent artists. So I thank the Lord that we were able to partner with Daulton for that particular purpose. And Heaven's Joy has become WJIC Network's top rated show on both Saturday and Sunday. So we just want to say thank you all for continuing to support Heaven's Joy, and we will definitely look forward to keeping everything going right now. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and put a pause in the action while we wait for Daulton to come back. If you're watching us, we are on Facebook Live as well as TuneIn. You can go to my personal channel on TuneIn, which is Cedric Barnett. And we are in the process of getting ready to start a YouTube channel, particularly for the WJIC Network. So, but we'll talk about that as soon as Daulton comes back. And in the meantime, you stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes.